because we're live. Live from the neck, from the throat chakra. I really appreciate, I want to take the moment to acknowledge all of you that are here today, in this room, presently, in space, virtually, and on this day, whenever this particular transmission actually reaches your ears, and hopefully, intentionally, your hearts. I'm going to walk around the space a little bit and talk to you guys. This is my special bell. I brought it from my home. With me for you all. Thank you. When I'm at home, I ring this bell in the morning, sometimes around my ears, right around this area, and this triangulation of space here. Also on this side. Oh, it feels so good. And maybe if time allows, I'll have to go over my head, all the way down, all the way around. If time allows afterwards and I meet some of you all and you say, hey, can you ring that bell? I'll ring it on you. I do this just because it feels good. It feels really, really good. And whether or not, and it is doing something really, really, really well. And awesome. It's shifting the vibrations around my body. It is actually breaking up static energy emitting in my auric field. And that's a beautiful thing about sound. It actually can move things. It can shake things up. Sound comes in many, many, many forms. One of the main uses of sound that we are accustomed to as earthlings has to do with communication and language. By language, I mean words, spoken language. Spoken language is a tricky thing. It's an interesting thing because it's sound and it's also sculpture and it's also form. It has an intentionality, but it also stemmed from a creation of the human imagination. Now, the thing about the human imagination is that it's ever evolving. Sound is infinite. It travels infinitely from the moment of its inception out into space until it stops, until it dissipates. And by that time, it is free. So I'm going to ring this bell again. And I want you all to hear, listen with your ears, tune in with your bodies and your ears. And I want you to listen for the moment that you can no longer hear the sound, okay? And we'll try that together. And I'm going to start from the striking of the bell, which is the... Oh wait, sorry, let's do it again. Now, I gave a visual signal as to the moment where I thought the sound had ended. I started to move. I continued to talk. We'll do it one more time, and I would like for you all to give back to me a movement and also a sonic response to when you can no longer hear the bell. I would say for you to raise your hands, but since we're streaming and people won't be able to see you, I'll ask for you to make a slight clap at that moment, okay? Don't be swayed by your neighbors. It's totally your own personal understanding and comprehension of the last moment that you can hear the tail remnants of the sound, okay? Is that clear to everybody?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good morning. Okay, here we go. Truth be told, I still hear the sound ringing. Sound, beautiful sound, it reverberates. It all reaches us, it all passes through us. We all ingest it, digest it, and give it back at different moments in time. And what a beautiful harmony, orchestration, and rippling of your responses. Clap, 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 clap. In that, it's like a reflection of the waveform itself. In that remembrance, I'm thinking of the moment that we strike a pebble onto the water. We strike a pebble onto the water and it ripples and it ripples and it ripples and it ripples. And sometimes it goes bloop, 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 bloop. It's probably gone down by then, gravity. But you get the idea. So the first increments and the jumps from the initiation, the force, it's an exponential leap. And then it plays. And then it lands as it will. It's not metrical, but it is perfect. It's imperfect, but it is perfect. This phenomenon of natural order and rights and wave propagation and wave formations that are found in nature, this has fascinated me throughout most of my life. I remember at a very young age being in Houston, Texas, H-Town, my hometown, looking at the many trees that we have, looking at the oak trees, looking at the pine trees, the magnolia trees, cedar, and looking at the leaves. So if there's someone who has maybe had this experience before, I love to look at the leaves and see the pattern on a very sunny day, which we are blessed to have many of in Houston, Texas. The blue sky against the green leaves of the tree, the light diffracting through, filtering through onto my brown skin brings me an ecstatic joy, a photosynthesis, and a synthesis that I really cannot put into words. But the thing that struck me the most is the patterning of the leaves and the repetition of these forms. We have these small leaves, we have the stem, we have the nucleus, we have the science, we have the beauty and the architecture, we have the repetition, we have the vibration that is happening naturally all around us. Are the trees making a noise? Are they sounding? It could be a humid day. Hello. It could be a humid day. It could be very still. And the leaves are not moving at all. But the space of sky coming through the leaves, articulating the shape of each petal, of each stem through each leaf, of each branch reaching out, just the enormous, intricate, lace-like pattern gives me a sonic response. Another instance where this comes into play is when we go to our beautiful beach Galveston. I just went there this week. This is a great week to be in Galveston. And I want to put my bell down, but my bell wants to stay. Come on, Belle. So I'm in Galveston, and the water, the waves do this all the time. The waves are breaking in their majestic formation. Random, ecstatic, on time, harmonious, erratic, cacophonous, all at once. Every single thing all at once. Perfect, imperfect. It brings me such joy and such freedom to see these natural occurrences in nature. And what I feel that is happening in my body as a mirroring response, as I watch and witness these beautiful things, I feel every cell in my body generating in that same way. I feel every cell in my body wanting to leap out and expand. Look at this beautiful mosaic of light that the lighting designers have put on the wall, on the ceilings. Something like this. Now this is graphic. This is graphic, but it's not symmetric. And there might be, we can get into a coding and figure out that this is actually has a translatable code to make this exact imperfection, so it's like perfectly designed imperfection. But when we step outside of the human imagination and get back into nature and the original source, this intricately designed imperfect perfection. We all have that in the home that is our body. We all have that in the home that is our body. So if there are moments when you're in nature and you're noticing any kinds of repetition there, I mean, even in this room, this is the kind of the filter, what is it called on social media when you put, it's called a filter, right? You put something on a picture. Not aging myself, but even in this room, to see these chairs, the design, I love design, I love it, the stairs, the design, the metrics. And to see these beautiful human bodies with beating hearts scattered around these chairs, randomly, seemingly random, seemingly with individual choice and decision. You all came in here and decided where you would sit. You think. But here we are together. And this moment and this composition of where you are and this orchestration and this arrangement was already here before we were here. And it took nothing for you to be in harmony with what is. Not what was, not with what will be as soon as you enter the theater, as soon as you get to U of H and park your car, but what actually is. And this moment that is now the only moment. I changed my name, not through the legal systems, but through the public systems. And I just shortened it. So my professional stage name is really not a stage name, because it's not the name I use on stages. It's the name that's used in text, is Lisa E. Harris, my given name. And I just shortened my name to Lee. And I bring that up to you today because I think it's really important to think about naming as also a very powerful and potent sound exploration and potential. We're in a time now in 2022 where we can rename anything that we want. We're doing it. We're renaming at every moment. We're creating language. We're creating identities for ourselves. We're recreating identities for ourselves. We're excavating identities that already is, from the is. Not that was, not that will be, that just is. And we're calling it forth with sound. I shortened my name to Lee because when people say, Lisa, some of my family will call me at a distance. Lisa, the will carry the distance. But if someone was like, Lisa, it's kind of weird. You know, it doesn't, come on in. It doesn't really make sense to do that. Even though the accent is on the Lee, to carry the distance will just naturally gravitate towards the sound that will carry the furthest distance. And you guys may have never studied sound. Children may have never studied sound, but they come onto this planet and they already know what tools they have to cover time and space. So it's really, 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 really natural to say, Lisa! It's natural. I cut off the sa. Because for me, by the time you say Lee, I already know if you're talking to me. You don't even have to get to the sa. I already know in the intention of your sound if you're talking to me, if that sound is directed to me, if it's intended for me to receive. I know you're not about to say, Little League. And I'm like, oh, I thought you were about to call me. I thought you were talking to me. Lillian. Oh, I thought you were about to call me. No. The sound form is the same, but the intentionality, the heart behind it, the direction is prescribed. It's there, and it reaches. Lead is also a metric form, and it shows up, it's a Chinese name, one of the oldest names ever. And it's a metric form. It's about the approximation of 1/3 of a mile. It's where we get the words like leagues, like 20,000 leagues under the sea. It is also a word that means natural rights in ordinations in nature, found in Confucianism and Buddhism. So I shortened my name for one reason, because I didn't need the rest of it. I liked the way Lee sounded, it was a vibration. But the more I looked into it, everything was in harmony with my decision. The marbling of the sand at Galveston, when the waves come in and out at their random ebbs and flows. Do you know when the sand marbles and it looks kind of ancient and it looks kind of like, I don't know why this kind of marbling always reminds me of elephants in some kind of way. I don't know, maybe the skin. But it looks like big kind of chunks of shapes. Looks cellular like this on the ceiling. These formations and patterns, these are the things that, the word that came into my mind just now was that I worship. And that's not necessarily the right word that I want to use, but these are the things that I acknowledge. The acknowledgement of these things bring me joy. The exploration of my joy, through the center of my joy and finding, reaching, some might say, reaching to find a connection to myself and my own identity, brings me peace and health. It grounds me in this existence. We are here to be seen. We are here to be heard. We are here to reflect and to see each other. Okay, so have a little more time. So I'm a composer, just gonna relax. And you guys also, can you take a deep breath in through your mouths for me? And out through your mouths. And it can be as audible as you like, as comfortable for you or your neighbors. Let's take a deep breath again in through your mouth. And this time blow it out through your nose. That yummy breath that sounds like the sea, a mirroring of sounds. Breathing in this time through your nose and out through your nose. sound of liquids and gas and combustion, of ignition before you were born, of creation. This time in through your nose and out through your mouth. We'll do it one more time really quickly through. I'm just going to say mouth, mouth. That means in through your mouth, out through your mouth. And can I hear you? Stand back a little bit. And this time we're going to do mouth, nose. In through your mouth, out through your nose. This time we're going to do nose, nose. And this time we're going to do nose, mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Beautiful. This breath is called the gamma breath cycle. Some of you may be familiar with that. The gamma cycle, the gamma breath cycle is based off of the gamma brain wave cycle. And there are many cycles to our brain activity. If you repeat this cycle, and it's just an oscillation, right? An oscillation is a moving back and forth from different containers. So in through your mouth this way, then we go this way, then we go this way, then we go this way. It is a cycling. It's like a washing machine. And you're just washing that breath back and forth through your brain, letting your brain release its ideas of holding on to what it was thinking about in the past or what it's thinking about in the future, and kind of bringing it right into the moment. If you do that a couple of times, like maybe 4 times, you can shift your brain patterning and brain activity to a gamma wave cycle. So that's going to take you to a cycling of a little bit more intentional focus. Sometimes we need to do that. I need to do it often because we are so laden and rich with distractions. So I hope that that's something you can look into in your own time, come back to as a practice. In my teaching practice, in my professional art practice, I am inspired to create compositions that are accessible to everyday human beings, that can foster joy and health and healing, where you don't need to, and that can instigate sound. You don't need to have a degree to make sound. You don't need to have a beautiful voice to sing. So give it up. No more excuses. Okay? These are our human rights. And more than a human right, these are our tools. We only have, that's not even true. I was going to say we only have a few tools. We have many tools. We have so many tools. But our access to our innate tools and to our humanity are being closed in on every day. So we look at the body as home, and we look around at our environment as home. And we mirror through, in and out, through the skin. We mirror from the inside to the outside. And we listen. Listening also is one of the best tools that the Creator and that you were able to have in being here and just being a material being, not even a conscious being. Listening. Listening can happen without ears. Think about it. Listening can happen without ears. In all of our senses, in our extrasensory perceptions, it's a community. It is a co-op. It's a co-op of abilities. So all of our senses can hear. All of our senses can see. All of our senses can taste. All of our senses can touch. All of our senses can know. All of our senses know. All of our senses are. This is beyond ability. The thing about the isness of our existence, the isness of the is that it is. It doesn't have to be able. It is. It literally is. Only is. It 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 is. There's a piece there. So when we are sick, and I meditated over this morning. I got up pretty early in preparation to meet you all and to talk to you because there's so many things I want to talk about. And actually, this is like nothing that I prepared, like at all, which is exciting. So I wanted to talk to you about exactly that, doing versus being. And I made a specific note to myself that in this conference where we're talking about innovations in arts and health, a lot of times now when we say health, we're thinking about sickness. I just said it. I just said when we're sick. And that is a part of our health. That is a part of our health experience. But that is not the totality or the majority of our health experience. It is the most prevalent. It is the most forward-facing. It is the most public-facing. It is the most consumerist. It is the most sold. It is the most profitable. It is the most not free. Our sickness is the most not free part of our health. I want us to, in this moment, in every reverberation and reiteration and patterning of this moment that happens next to this moment, there's only this moment. I want us to remember that our health is free. That our health is free. I want us to remember that. And to the powers that be, our health is free. You know what's innovative? To me, I had an idea. What is innovation? What's new? What is new under the sun? A brand new day isn't even that new. It's cyclical. What is new? What could possibly be new? What could I possibly tell you all that is new and innovative? What is the risk that we can take? In arts and in health, I think a wonderful innovation is not only free health, it's not new, that is, but free health care. The idea is not new. So how can we take an old idea and make it new? If our intention is honestly and earnestly about seeking out, cultivating, sponsoring, nurturing innovation, if that is really our truth and not a selling point and not a public-facing point, if that is really our intention, how can we take an idea and bring it to life? Through action. Through action. So in this moment, I'm just going to chant a little bit and you guys can join me. So a lot of words that I've been thinking about relating to health that I think don't get said enough. That don't get said enough. We don't hear these sounds enough. We don't hear these sounds out of context. as individual sounds. I love to see all of you, all of your beings out here, knowing that these are all beating hearts sitting here, knowing that these are all like functional livers to be in this room, functional kidneys to be in this room, heart, liver, kidney. To hear these words individuated, unique, because everyone is unique. To hear these words unhyphenated, not connected to sickness. There's a power and an edification and an architecture that sound and the repetition of sound and the structures of repetition, the fortification can make things into being. So I'm not going to repeat all of the things that you can imagine. You don't even have to imagine, you can remember, you can tune in to the television or wherever else, whatever media, to hear these reverberated sounds as they pass through and are filtered through our imagination, as they pass through and are filtered through our consciousness, our willful, powerful consciousness that makes things real, that makes things better, that makes things stronger and stronger. Let's sweep away all of the extra. And I just want to get down, stand back here and look at the bigger picture and get back to the heart, the liver, the kidney, heart, liver, kidney, heart, liver, kidney, heart, liver, kidney, blood, brain, nerves, spleen, heart, liver, kidney. Without anything else, it is. It already is in its complete form. It already is in the idea of what it is when we as human beings assign language and sound form to encapsulate what that ideal is. We had an idea, we saw a thing and said, let's call that a heart, 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 heart. And it was so. So let's speak more on the things that, and repeat the things that are so, over and over again, without the extra. There are a few other words here, maybe a trigger warning, I'm just going to tell you that need to be heard and said outside of context, that don't only need to be read, which is a completely different form. Abortion. 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 AIDS. AIDS. This is a unique sound. Individuated, standing alone, has many meanings. This sound represents many things. Hear it again and imagine. Space and freedom. AIDS. Heart. Heart. COVID. Didn't even want to say that one. That one I'm still a little attached to. I didn't even want to say it. But this is the thing. These are sound forms. Let's put a little space between ourselves and the sound. And look at the thing for what it is. And if we need something else, let's make a new sound. That does not mean let's make a new disease. Let's make a new sound. Let's make a new sound. Let's hear it again. COVID. Hypertension. 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 Stress. Listen to that. It sounds almost like stretch and yes together. Stress. We resound our words. We resound our bodies. We resound our minds. We renew our minds. I pray, Lord, make in me, renew in me a new mind, a clear body, a clear sound. Here's another word that I really love. Better. Better. It has a percussiveness to it at the beginning with that b at the beginning. I love it. Better. Can you all say it back with me? I'm going to say better, and I want you to say
better.
Better. Better.
Better.
better.
Better.
Better.
Better.
Better, 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 better.
Better, 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 better,
Better, better, better, better, better, better, better, better, better, better, better, better, better, better, better. That's right. Now listen, you guys. You are amazing at mirroring. It's one of our superpowers as humans. You guys did it almost exactly as me. Almost exactly. Same amount of time. You took up the same amount of space. Collectively, you took up the same amount of energy, which is, I don't know, we're not talking about performance. But collectively, you guys should watch me, pin me to the wall with better. You could pin me to the wall with better. Now this is the thing. I've worked in several hospital systems as an artist. I've worked at the Shriners Hospital, Texas Children's, St. Luke's. I bring in song. I bring in just myself without anything. I bring in instruments, the theremin, which is the instrument that I play. There's some videos online, and I don't want to rush, but there's a couple more things I want to say before I get off the stage. But the theremin is a wonderful instrument. I didn't bring it today for you all because there were better things to talk about. And that's gonna, that kind of needs a different, a revisit. So, Mitchell Center, Dean Davis, everybody, I will come back, and we need to come back and talk about the theremin. But the theremin is an awesome instrument because it's touchless. And I use the theremin in hospitals, but I also use the theremin in communities. Without the walls, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Until we resound our health, it doesn't matter if we're inside or outside. theremin, it's an electronic instrument that you don't touch. It has two antennae. One reads a frequency. It goes up and down, and I can bring my hand in and out closer to the antenna. It will be higher pitch, and closer to my body, it will be a lower pitch. So if I were laying down, my body would be like the ground, and this would be getting higher into the sky, but it's going out. So it sounds like... The other antenna is lateral. It reads the amplitude, that is the volume, the audio volume. As I bring my hand closer to this lateral antenna, the sound gets smaller. As I bring my hand up away from it, the sound opens like a door. So we have the same pretty much sounds like that. I like to bring this to children. I like to bring this to all people that I work with that need it when it's called for. You guys didn't need it today, I just showed you what it was. And when I first got this instrument, I learned about it in college, and it took me 10 years to actually get one for myself. And I left it in the box at home for a long time. My mother, who this is the perfect time to bring her into the room, my mother, I'm from the land and the home of Landa Harris. This is my land acknowledgement. I'm from the land of Bobby Jones. I'm from the land of Alvin Harris. I'm from the land of George Harris. My mother, Landa Harris, who right now is a few miles away downtown, walking in the Susan B. Komen breast cancer walk this morning, was going through her third bout of cancer. Another word, you guys say it with me. Cancer.
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 That's right. My mom came into my house and saw this box, and she said, "Where's your instrument? What are you doing? You're not gonna play it?" I said, "Mom, these things take time. I have to study it first. I'm studying it intently online. I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm watching the greats. There's a technique. You can't just jump into these things. You have to take your time." And my mom said, "What? Take it out of the box. I want to hear what my body sounds like." Blew my mind. I said, "Mom, first of all, no, resistance. No, that's wrong, resistance." And when she left, I was crumbling because I was like, "Oh my God, that's so right. God, no. My mom is always right." She wants to hear what her body sounds like. This is my mother. When she said this to me, she's in her third bout with cancer.
Cancer.
Which she beat, again. This is her 20th year of survivorship. 20th year. And that's no testament, that is a testament to my mother, but that is no shade or no diss testament to any of our angels who had a different outcome with cancer. But that is also a testament to us. To us. These things are going on way too long. These conversations are going on way too long. And what are the real world outcomes? We are not here to sell t-shirts. We are here to be free. We are here to be. Sometimes freedom looks like freedom away from our bodies, which is a great, listen, we'll all get there. Not even God willing, that's just inevitable. We'll all get there. We were all there before. We are all there right now. My mom wanted to hear what her body sounded like. As she had spent years throughout the last 2 decades, in and out of hospitals, inside, outside, around machines, telling her about herself, reflecting to her externally about her internally. This machine in particular, and it's not, and kudos to Moog. Moog is the manufacturer of this particular instrument the brand of theremin that I use, but also kudos to the innovator and inventor Lev Theremin, a Russian inventor who invented this instrument in 1910. Sorry that I'm getting the dates wrong. The instrument is 102 years old. 103 this year. And Lev Theremin made this instrument as a scientist, a contemporary to Tesla, but also as an agent and as a steward to the KGB and the USSR. This instrument was developed as a spy, for a tool for espionage, as a spy tool. The same technology we use when you're at the mall and a shoplifter or somebody might accidentally pick up a jean jacket and it has a little code on it, it goes beep, 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 oh, oh, oh. So this is sound signaling. This instrument was made to detect life by using sound. Now what happened after the detection of life was detected, that was up to the KGB, I said KGB. That was up to the KGB, that was up to the government. What happens after life was detected? But Lev Theremin did what he came to do. He gave what needed to be given. Okay? He invented this thing, it's sound, it can detect light, and it'll give you a signal. The way we've received this signaling, the way the signaling has been used in warfare, in control, politically, in policing, has trickled down over the century through, from the USSR through to all of the continents, the 7 continents on this planet. We go outside right now, we hear a sound, and we have an internal reaction to it. We do. We hear a honk on the car, and we have a moment, a stressor in our bodies. This is built into our culture at this point. Sound as a policing of the body externally. So I just want to give you guys that to meditate on. As you're out in your lives and you are bombarded with sounds, there's so many sounds out there. It's so many sounds out there. How can we be healthy? How? You know when you go to the beach and you hear the waves and you're like, oh my God, this feels so good. The waves are so loud. Or you go out to the country or to the forest and it's like deafeningly silent. You're like, the silence is so loud, it feels so good. Lean into that. That is a need. That is a need. Resound, reset your body, but also say the words in isolation. Say the words in isolation. And before I leave, I just want to go back through and just say all of these things from monkeypox. Let's start there. Monkeypox. Monkeypox. I'm not going to say it with fear. I'm not going to say these sounds with fear. I might say it in Pig Latin. Monkeypox me. Monkeypox me. Reorder, rearrange your participation in the sounds that are coming out of your body and the sounds that are coming into your body. Monkeypox, COVID. What happened after COVID? SARS. All of them. Pig, swine flu. AIDS. Cancer, which has been going on forever. A lot of these things have been going on forever. Polio, let's go back a little bit. Shingles, we just had a reemergence. Hello, girl. Saw her 2 years ago, myself. I was like, oh, hey, girl, who are you? Nice to meet you. Shingles, are you single? Hypertension, diabetes, stress. Behavioral health. There's a whole myriad of things. You guys can break them down there. I'm talking from epidemic to chronic to over-the-counter, treatable illnesses. But let's not separate illness. Let's bring now, in this moment, let's bring it back into the encapsulation of our health so that we can own this. These are things that trickle down, and now we have a seed of manageable disruptions. Okay? This can be changed. I don't think that artists are going to be the ones who can change this. Unfortunately, welcome to my TED Talk. Thank you all for coming. It's been really great. I don't think that artists are the ones that are going to be able to change this. One, artists don't have health care. Artists are human beings. We are not angels. We're human beings. The health situation, the innovation, and I'm going to just wrap it up here. The innovation that we're talking about, that I can imagine as an artist, I can bring my imagination and my viewpoint and perception to this conversation, to this larger conversation. And I hope that you all, if you have something to say to me, reach out to me online or whatever. But the innovation, one of the innovative things that we can do is look at the behavioral health of our systems. All the way from the outside, all the way to the heart. The behavioral health of our systems. Please meditate on that. Please ring your bells loud and clear. Every bell has many, 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 many sounds. And I thank you all for hearing my bell today. Thank you very, very much.